So this is the title poem of my book, available in the foyer, price £10. It's called If We're Being Honest, which is a phrase no one ever really looks forward to hearing. If you show anybody a given piece of work and they say, if we're being honest, you don't say, ooh, this is going to be good. We should have more people in the room. If we're being honest, I'm broken in the places I didn't expect, strong in places I rarely visit, more thorough than my cavalier demeanour would have you believe, and more wounded by being ignored than insulted. If we're being honest, I eat more ice cream while spooning it into the bowl than what actually goes into the bowl. I pee in the shower. I find pooing strangely erotic. And throw my clipped toenails behind the telly. Oh, now you're judging. If we're being honest, I drink more than I used to, run less than I used to, weigh more than I used to, and masturbate at a relatively consistent level. And sometimes when pets can see me. If we're being honest, I respect cats more than dogs because cats tend to leave the room if they see me masturbating. True that. No, cats tend to wander in and go, I leave you. Whereas dogs go, what's that? Can I have some? If we're being honest, I don't like much poetry because some of it is tedious, thinly veiled self-aggrandizing, and some of it is better than my ignorance can tell, and reading mine often reveals all too painfully which camp it belongs, which, if the former, I pretend overlaps with the latter. And if we're being really honest, some of it isn't actually poetry, but I'm hoping you won't be able to tell. If we're being honest, putting spoken word in a book makes as much sense as buying a printed screenplay, or listening to a tour of an art gallery on the radio. If we're being honest, things aren't always political, and sometimes people just want to get through the day without joining any dots. If we're being honest, the left is far more cunning at truth selection than the right because we care more about the right not being right. If we're being honest, most monsters are just people stuck in a temporary swamp, not strong enough yet to take the hand more people should be holding out. If we're being honest, I hated my mother for 20 years until I saw her be a grandmother. Then I hated myself for not seeing the wood of grace and patience for the trees of resentment. If we're being honest, I'm not honest enough to be fully honest, because the accidental cup of lies I spilled on the mountaintop of youth is now an immovable glacier in the valley of middle age. If we're being honest, I'm shit at metaphors. If we're being honest, most religion doesn't hurt despite its dishonesty, and atheism doesn't hurt those who prefer dishonesty, and my passive aggressiveness isn't charming. If we're being honest, in truth or dare, I'll always tell the truth because the truth behind me is easier to cope with than the coercion in front. If we're being honest, the phrase, if we're being honest, is a brutal preamble. The cliff before the tempest, the creaking door opening on a winter's night, the harsh light on the operating table, the slow sit down with hands clasped. If we're being honest, invokes a cold intake of breath because if we're being honest, it precedes words we can rarely take back. But if we're being honest, we shouldn't need to.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, we'd appreciate it if you could hit the like button, if you could hit the subscribe button, and make sure to ring that bell icon so you don't miss any updates from us in the future. If you want to go that extra mile and support us a little further, we do have a Patreon channel with loads of exclusive goodies, and you can sign up for as little as $1 a month. We appreciate your help, guys, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.